Hello, and welcome to Ultimate General Civil War on Brigadier General difficulty. This is a how-to guide on how to absolutely crush Ultimate General Civil War as the Union through Malvern Hill. And I'm going to play past Malvern Hill. But I have been experimenting with some new tactics and strategies, and yeah, this is going to just be crushing and overwhelming and make Ultimate General and Brigadier General for the Union almost a joke. So, yeah, the first thing I recommend you do is before your reinforcements come in, is to go ahead and save the game and then reload from the save. And that should make all the units come in bigger than otherwise. What happened was in one of the updates, they nerfed the size of the units, and you can sometimes get around that if you save the game at this point and then reload, and then the original size of the units will show up. I recommend you do that. The first battle of the Union campaign is the worst. A lot of people complain about it on Reddit, and rightly so. I really don't like this battle a tiny bit, and the only goal of this battle is to get through it. This is supposed to be the tutorial battle, but it turns out being overly difficult for new players. So, yeah, I recommend just getting through it and getting to the camp phase, and that's where the campaign really starts, where you really start building your army. So, yeah. So anyway, I have several playthroughs on Brigadier General, Major General, Legendary, and I'm experimenting, and usually I fought this with like small armies or a mixture, combined arms, or something like that. This is all about building a massive army. The largest possible units that make sense, and the largest possible army that you can bring to the field. We're not trying to stay under scaling. We're trying to drive the enemy up in scaling. I don't know if these tactics will work as well on Legendary, but that's an experiment that I want to run later. So for now, I just want to figure out, because each of the levels are very different. So for now, I just want to figure out how to crush the game on Brigadier General. And this is crushing. I mean, this takes what in previous campaigns that I've played is a challenging campaign. The first part of the Union campaign is more challenging than the Confederate campaign. I found the early part of the Confederate campaign, even on Legendary, to be easy. The Union campaign to be challenging. Well, using this strategy, which I'm about to show you, the Union campaign is just a walk in the park. So for some of you, this is going to ruin your experience because it's going to make the game way too easy for you. What is the point of this? The point of this is I went into this with the idea of trying to grind as much XP as possible for as many men as possible. I want to get into melee. I'm using the UI mod 1.8, the same mod that I'm using in my current Confederate Legendary playthrough. And I wanted to try out the tactics I was using in my Confederate playthrough here in the Union campaign and see what the effect was. And the effect is just absolutely devastating on the enemy, as you will see. And so what we're going to do is we're going to preserve the experience of all of our soldiers. So we're going to, in every camp phase, take our best units and merge them together. And we're going to take like the second best unit, merge it into the best unit, third best into the second best, and so on, so that we always hold on to experience. We're going to try to make as many 3-star units as possible. When we get a bunch of infantry that's 3 stars, we'll take some of those out of the 3-star infantry and make 3-star snipers, 3-star artillery, which is just devastating, particularly on Brigadier General. In every battle that we fight, we're just going to try to bring as many men as possible onto the battlefield. So if you noticed when I started in the original setup, we're going into politics first, medicine second, And during the campaign, we're going to exchange reputation for raw recruits, because that's what we want. We want as many men as possible. So this is the easy way to win this battle. It's to pop across the bridge here. I would like to keep that infantry unit in the town on this side of the river if possible. If he retreats, he'll go back to the flag, and I don't want him at the flag. So I would just like to kind of hit him without getting him to rout. Yeah, he's just a sitting duck right there. That's... yeah, that's just not going to go very well for him. So, okay, for this battle, the goal is just to get through it, get to the other side of it. I do want to, on Brigadier General, especially, to wipe the enemy out. But if I don't, that's not a big deal. I do wipe them out. But, you know, the goal is to get out of this battle. Just get out of it. There's no other purpose. And the fact that I'm able to wipe them out is just a bonus. So, yeah, I always approach these fortifications with detached skirmishers first, and then the infantry rolls up second. So that makes sense as a tactic. So for the UI mod 1.8, I highly recommend the UI mod 1.8. It fixes a lot of problems, or the UI mod, it fixes a lot of problems in the game, and also it encourages you to get into melee, which is just, it makes the game fun, and also you get to capture weapons when you capture enemy units. So you have an incentive to capture enemy units, and I think that makes the game more fun to play. And yeah, about the only setting that I have turned on, I think, is enemy artillery, when it's far away, will target my artillery. I like that feature, and yeah, everything else is pretty much, I think, vanilla settings, but I really like the feature where his artillery will target my artillery if there isn't infantry nearby to shoot at. So, yeah, and all we're doing here is, you notice I rolled up the infantry, I rolled up detached skirmishers, then infantry, then artillery, and we're just hitting this guy with exploding shell and canister, I guess, and lots of fire, and he routs. Now you can wait for him to do this again. He'll come back into the fortification, but he's pretty shot up, so I'm just going to go across the bridge. If you're playing on Major General or Legendary, let him recover, come back into the fortification, and hit him again. Degrade him some more before you cross the bridge, but this is Brigadier General, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, once we take the flag, there'll be a countdown timer, and then it'll go to phase 2. In later versions of the UI patch, the fortifications are pretty good, but I can't recommend getting into those fortified positions with infantry. At this point, detached skirmishers and skirmishers do really well in the fortifications, but infantry it's terrible. It's a death trap for infantry. It's good for melee, but it's not good for general combat. So as you'll see, I put everybody just in the town, try to get as much cover as possible. When the train comes in, I kill it pretty much right away with artillery so that it goes away, and then all I'm doing is waiting for my reinforcements, run the enemy down, wipe him out. It pretty much plays out exactly the same way on Major General and Legendary. Once you repel his initial attack on the town in phase 2, then it's just a matter of whenever you feel like it, you just go forward and wipe him out. There's not much you can do about it. And then you get to camp, and the big thing is what you do in camp. That's where I'll start talking about how we set up what we're going to do for the rest of the campaign. And once again, we're going to spend reputation on raw recruits. We're going to build up as large an army as we possibly can. We're going to build oversized infantry units of 2,500 and just bring the maximum number of men to every battle that we possibly can. We're also going for captures. because what you'll find is in the Union campaign, you are going to be desperate for weapons. So, by the way, I've sped this up. On Brigadier General, I think most of this campaign I've played on either regular speed or double speed. If you want better results, by that I mean higher kill ratio, play on slow. Micromanage your units, hit pause a lot, play on slow. But it's not really necessary. The game is going to give you so many men in the Union campaign and so much money, you can just play on normal speed, hit pause when you need to adjust something, and then just keep playing. Like right now, we're just chewing this guy up. I mean, and what you're going to see in this campaign is this is just going to be crushing pretty much the whole campaign. Just absolutely crushing. The initial phase of every battle, the AI is aggressive because that's how the AI is programmed. You repulse the enemy attack, and then it's just, how are you going to destroy him? And this method works really well to destroy the enemy. So okay, I'm going to stop talking at this point. I'll come back at the end of the video because there isn't much going on now. We have the flag. We're going to prepare for the counterattack. And like I said, we're going to get out of, I got out of all the fortifications. Here's the setup. The enemy is going to attack. I'm going to kill the train, bring in my reinforcements, and then kill the enemy. So it's pretty much textbook. I prefer to kill the enemy in the upper right corner of the map, but I think he dies in the upper left corner of the map. It doesn't really matter. At a certain point, he's doomed. I'm getting my supply wagons out of the way right now because there's no reason to have them. They're just kind of a target for the enemy. So yeah, I'm waiting for the train to come in. Again, I've sped this up. So I just took a hit pause there and told my reinforcements how I want them to come in. I think I have them on run. And then we're going to kill the train and then wipe out the enemy. I'll come back at the end of the video and talk about it just at the end, just for a moment. But the real action happens in the camp phase. So I'll see you at the end of this video, and then please watch the camp video. I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, here we are at the end of the video. No big deal. We're going to wipe out the last remnants of these guys. I was hoping to get some captures, but typically when the enemy is this low in numbers, they shatter like this. And the other thing is, if your units are exhausted, the enemy isn't going to surrender. They're going to shatter. So very low probability of a capture here. So yeah, and his numbers are shot. I have my units that are going to carry over. Zook is not one of them. So my units that are going to carry over, I should have them running to the other edge of the map at this point, grinding up some stamina. There's nothing more they can do here in this battle. So yeah, I kind of jumped ahead. So I don't remember if I put those guys on run and sent them to someplace else. I think I did, but if I didn't, yeah, having him run is not helpful. Having Zook run is not helpful. I do bring the Cav up to shoot. Yeah, okay, having that guy on run, that is helpful. He's grinding stamina, so that is very helpful. So my two units that are going to carry over are not only grinding stamina, but they're also grinding the command bar for my leaders. So that's really good. But I think I lost one of my leaders in this battle. The artillery should just be firing, even if they can't kill anything. They have plenty of ammo. The more they fire, the more they grind up firearms. The more they get kills, the more they grind up efficiency. So, okay, one last unit. Here comes my Cav. My Cav can also get into this. I think I'm running out of time. 1930? It doesn't matter. Okay, I lose 1,000. The enemy loses close to 4,000. Doesn't matter. Oh, it went by really fast. If my officer was wounded, that's fine. If he's deceased, that's bad. So Walton, did Walton live? I don't know. So, okay, that's the end of this video. Now we're in camp phase. Now the campaign really starts. I'll see you in camp. Thanks for watching.